Hey everybody, this is Calvin Allen here. I wanted to do a quick walkthrough of what we do on Sunday mornings for the media side. This isn't going to focus on audio or the soundboard really. This is just going to be ProPresenter and that computer, the media computer, iMac, with the lights, ProPresenter and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go into... Well, actually, I am already in ProPresenter right now. This is streaming through ProPresenter. So I'm pulling up the desktop view. So this is ProPresenter right here, as you're seeing on the screen right now. And I'm wanting to walk through everything that we do on a Sunday morning. So when we get here, obviously, everything should be preloaded already. So hopefully all announcements and the video announcements, which it's currently not here right now because they removed the previous week's one and haven't uploaded the new one yet. And then going into our live stream setting and then end of service stuff. As many of you know, all of these things are in a specific order for a reason. A lot of these things will switch screens around, will change lights, will change what you hear. So it's very important to go in the order that I have it set up in. So as I start off, I'm just going to walk through what a typical service would be like. So right now I just switched to the pre-service mode. And what you would see in there is you'd see that the lights are set to a specific setting in the sanctuary, and we would probably go to a worship song as we're doing this. So let's just use this as an example. We wouldn't be doing Goodbye Yesterday. It'd probably be a more slower, more worshipful song, but who knows? We'd go through that song, and then we'd have our prayer time. During the prayer time, you just put the pre-service image back up on the screen there. After that is done, at 9:55, there's a calendar set up already where everything's going to automatically start on the countdown. And what I mean is that section where it's the 5-minute countdown right here, that's going to start, and then things are going to look like this. You're hearing the audio, it's pretty loud. And then I'm going to switch over here, and now that audio is done, and it's just back to me again. We're in the sanctuary. Then we go to the call to worship that has the scripture. This isn't this week's, but I'm just pulling it up because I don't have this week's yet. So let's say this was it. So once they've welcomed the guests, then we'd pull this up, and then we'd go through the call to worship. We'd see the scripture title, then we'd read the scripture together. And then we go through that. After that, we simply are going through our songs. I'm going to go back to the desktop view again so you can see all that. So we'd be going through the songs, Goodbye Yesterday. I always want to start with clicking the first slide here because that has audio things that are important, that has visual things that happen, like the lights change in here from these first slides right here. So don't want to skip to this. You always want to press this first when we're in the service flow. So then we just do the normal going through the song. So it looks like this for the audience that are seeing it on the TVs or online. But of course, you would see on this little section, the top corner with the blue graphic, that's what we see in the sanctuary as we go through everything. And that's going to be the same for each song. So then the second song, we click that first slide because it changes the lights in the sanctuary. So we want to make sure we click those each time so that way they are changing accordingly. And next song, it's doing another light change. Lights have changed a little bit. And the last song, the lights will probably stay the same, but I still want us to be in the habit of pressing that slide regardless, just so we don't miss something that needs to be done. So after that's done, we switch over to announcements time, and we're going to click that first slide right here, and I'm going to take this away real quick. The way that this is set up is you're going to see the announcements slide on this corner right here instead of on the big screen. So you're going to see an announcement slide on that bottom corner. If you're in the sanctuary, you're going to see it fully on the screen here. Just going through these slides, so that way online they can still see the people. That way on the TVs in the hallway they can still see the person while also seeing the graphic as well. And then after that we go into our video announcements, which we currently don't have one right now, but when we press this, it's going to change it to a video mode, so you can see the video on this screen fully, but right now there just simply isn't one. After that's all said and done, we would go to the next slide that enables us to see the sermon that's coming through the Resi live stream. So after we've clicked this one that it's highlighted on right now, then we go to the one that says Sermon Video Stream Setup. And I'm going to probably disappear again as I click that. So I'm going to click it real quick, and this is going to come up, and stuff is happening in the background where Video Hub
God
is switching
curses
things
Adam.
around.
And he says,
Now
Adam, you're
hearing
going
the
to
audio.
toil. Now, work is not a curse. I've said this before.
You're
It's
hearing
the
the audio
toil. It's the
from
sweating of
the
the brow
stream. I'm
that
gonna
was the
pause
curse.
it.
And then he looks at the serpent and he says, Serpent, I'm going to
Over here real
curse
quick.
you, and the seed of the woman is going to crush.
I paused it over on the Resi computer. I'll show you that computer in a minute, but I just paused that so you're not getting all that audio. But what just happened was I switched over here. It switched the camera feed from the camera view to the Resi feed. So now that's what's coming in on the screens, as you can see right here. Once we're done the sermon, we have to press at the end of sermon slide, because that's going to switch things around again and turn things off that need to be turned off. And then we immediately after that need to go to the next one that's going to be end of service, and we click that first slide right down here. So I'm clicking that first slide all the way to the left, and it's switching back over here so we can view the sanctuary again. And what you didn't see because it happened while we were in here is it switched from that first slide and it automatically went to the next one after a second because I have a timer on there. After it switches here, you would immediately go to prayer call or prayer at the altar screen. So it looked like this on all the screens. And so we've clicked this, and now it's going to look like this on the TVs out there. So you can still see the people. Because we want to see the people. And then we'd probably go back into a song. So if we do, we still want to click all those things because they switch things, turn off the audio from the live stream so we're not getting double that. And then we just go back to the song, or we've clicked the song, and now we are going through the song again, So the purple graphic is what they're seeing in the sanctuary. This view right here is what they're seeing in the TVs, or if it was being streamed online. So that's the typical order of a service. Let's say we weren't doing a live stream, and instead we were doing an in-house live speaker. Over here, instead of this saying sermon video stream setup, we would switch this out. We go to the little spot where it has the name of the thing, and we unlink it. And now I'm going to go to the magnifying glass, and going to search for, instead of sermon video stream setup, I'm going to go press the one that says live sermon lights, and I'm going to click that now, and now it's populated to have that set up. So in this case, we would just go through the motions, press the slides, and then the way it's set up is we would go through these slides and then we'd have the graphics come up for the person in-house. On here, I'm gonna have to change things a little bit so it kind of does a similar thing to announcements, so that way they can also see these slides on the little corner there. So I'm actually gonna do the little camera. Sorry, having a brain fart real quick. Going back over here and going to multi-action. And now over here, it's gonna have the right thing. I'm gonna pull this in here real quick and put this on both of these. So now when we go here, oh, well, I'll worry about that another time. But for the most part, it's going to be the other way set up. I just got to reconfigure something over here so that way we're able to see what we need to see right there. So now you can see my face again, beautiful. So again, that's the basic flow from the beginning of the service all the way down to what we do at the end of the service. And again, we need to press the specific slides in order or else things aren't going to pop up the way that we need them to pop up. So please, I beg you to press them in the right spot. I'm going to switch gears and you're going to see things a little differently now. So I'm turning this off and this is going away. I'm bringing this back up because this camera is going to be following me around. I'm going to switch it so you can kind of see this. It's not as crisp as it was before, but you can still see things and get the idea. Again, going through the order of service, this is what they see in the sanctuary. This is what they see on the TVs. It's doing the little endless eternal loop thing because I'm pointing at it and filming it and filming it. And then these are what we see over here. So make sure you go through everything in order. Over here in the Resi section, I'm gonna turn that on real quick. I'm gonna go back down here where I originally, this is the spot where I had this sermon where it was the live stream setup and I switched it to the in-person one. Now I'm gonna switch it back and go to the magnifying glass right here. And then I'm gonna pick the one that is saying sermon video stream right here. And I click that. And then I'm clicking to select that. So now this is back to the setting that I have over here. So over here on the Resi computer, when you initially get in here after you've logged in, press enter and whatnot, you're going to see the screen up here where it is showing you the events. So there's the Neos, New Life Online, Saturday nights. We want the New Life Church Online experience. Typically when we get here early Sunday, either me or somebody else is probably going to utilize the Saturday night service stream just to test the audio and video to make sure everything's working correctly. But around 8 o'clock, by then they should be streaming their New Life Church Online experience at the Kempsville campus. So we click that and it's going to ask us, clear the local disk cache, clear it. And then I press that. And now down here, it's going to start at the very beginning of this sermon stream feed. And so now it's at the very top, as you can see, they're starting rehearsal and whatnot. And we're going to let this play so that way it's going to get to where it needs to be around 9:15, 9:20. They're usually starting their sermon. So what we do is it would be already playing, but if for some reason we didn't start it up already, we kind of have to find the spot where the sermon starts. And once we find that, so right now they're doing the tail end of worship. One of the pastors at the campus is coming up. But we would stop. Let's pretend this is where the sermon starts. It's not, but let's pretend. Up here, we're gonna press Qs, and we're gonna create a cue. And I'll put right here, click on there, and then I'm gonna type in start. And then I'm gonna press enter. So now up here it says start, and it gives us the time specifically to this video. Now I'm gonna use a different video or a different cue from the other day, and I'm gonna go to cue, and now it's going to, now it's automatically gone to the actual spot where the sermon starts. But you would do it the way that I showed you a second ago. I'm just pulling that up so you can see that. When we get back over here, this is what's happening. I press this. Right now you don't see me.
John, happy Mother's Day, Mom.
So now the sermon has started.
Thank you.
You can hear her talking very
so
loud.
blessed to be here.
So I'm going to go back over here.
To meet you. I'm Pastor Dana.
Just,
I'm one of the teaching pastors here.
Press the mute so that way it's not as loud, and I'll bring my face back up over here. So that's how you would operate the Resi stream. It automatically starts over here. Once we've pressed the stuff over here, it'll automatically start playing this over here. So that way we have everything that we need, and it's all working perfectly. So that's the basic of the service flow and how it connects with Resi as well. Real quick, I want to talk about this thing called macros. So on the screen, over in this bottom right-hand corner, you'll see this section. This is a layers section, but I'm going to go over here where it says M. These are our macros, and basically what they do is they enable us to do a whole bunch of things at once, or just one thing. So I have them set up where these things are controlling the Resi stuff. I've built these personally, so they do what they're supposed to do. So you don't have to worry about building them, but I just want you to understand that they're there and they do something. I have dragged these into the slides. So over here you can see these little icons on each of the slides. That just indicates that there's a macro or there's some other thing happening that when you click that slide, it operates and executes that thing. So this is kind of the Resi setup. So the feed comes in here, or it switches back to our camera in-house over here. I'm going to pull up a drop down that you can't see. I'm going to switch so you can see my camera again. So over here, there's a drop box that you can switch between the sections. We were in the video audio setup one. I'm going to switch gears over to the sanctuary lights. So in the sanctuary lights section, it has all of our different lights that we have here. So if I switch to the worship setting, and let me real quick bring the camera back up real quick. Camera, come back. And I'm switching to the camera feed. So we're seeing the sanctuary again. So now I'm going back over here to the lights. So I'm going to turn the desktop off real quick and show you my little self in the corner here. So as I'm pressing these different macros for the lights, pre-service lights, change the lights. Then I'm clicking here, changes the lights. Click over here, it's changing the lights, and so on and so forth. And again, I have all of these in the actual slides, so that way you don't have to worry about going over here unless you need to override something and change the lights on a specific song, just cause. But as you can see, they're in here. These are the macros they'll either have this color or shape or this or something like that. But these are macros. There's other ones that have different things that are similar to the macros, like changing the scenes and stuff. But the macros pretty much cover all of those. They're going to always be in here, so that way everything changes to the correct thing. So now that's basically ProPresenter and what we're doing over here. I just want to show you our lighting software that we do use. So I'm going to switch this screen so you can see our lighting software. So just give me a second, and I'm going to switch to capturing our other control software. So this is Daslight right here, and in this app software, sorry, you're able to control the different lights and whatnot. So this will control, you can kind of see it in the background a little, well, it's hard to see, but let's say you could see it. I turn this off and I turn this off. Now you see the sanctuary again. So you can kind of see the colors changing as I'm pressing this in the background slightly. But you always want to make sure that it's in this mode. You don't want to be in setup mode. This is kind of where all the lights and stuff are being configured. And if I pulled this up, you'd see our bird's eye view of all of our lights and whatnot. You don't have to really worry about all that stuff and how it's built. I'm going to close this again and go back to the touch screen. It should always be in here. These are all of our different light scenes that we would use on a Sunday morning. This is connected to ProPresenter, so as we are in ProPresenter and switching things around, so you can't see it right now. Well, actually, let me make it so you can kind of see it again. So I'm back in ProPresenter in here, but you're still seeing the other software. I'm going to change the lights in here, and you're going to see that it switches over here. So I'm switching in here, and you're seeing it switch over in that. That's because they're set up with an internal MIDI kind of a setup. Super cool stuff, but just want you to see that that's the basic idea of that. So these will always be connected, and as you're changing things in here, it changes in the actual app as well, so that way you know everything is working correctly. Had to cough real quick because that was a lot of speaking that I did. So I'm going to go back to my face real quick. So again, that's the basic idea for what Sunday morning flow looks like, what you're doing, how you have to operate, and how the different things are connected. There's, of course, a much more in-depth how everything is connected, how I'm building it, but this will help you basically understand how things are working and how they operate on a typical Sunday morning. And I hope this is a helpful resource for you to look back to on, let's say, a Sunday I'm not here. You can walk through this to make sure that you're doing it right. And hopefully you've come to some AV training things as well. So have a great day and God bless.